You are listening to Phone Eats First. Hello everyone, welcome back to Phone Eats First, a podcast about romanticizing life and finding inspiration inside and outside of the kitchen. My name is Corey May, Corey in the Kitchen, however you know me, however you found me. Hi, hello. I'm so happy you're here, whether I'm in your ears or you're watching on video. I am now on YouTube for video as well, and Spotify. Apple Podcasts is just audio, so pick your poison, but I'm on all three, and I am honored to be here. And if you know me and follow me, you may know that Phone Eats First just turned 1. I released my trailer on, I think, September 12th, and then I posted my first episode, which is still only like 7 minutes long, on like the 17th maybe. And I can't believe it. So happy birthday, Phone Eats First. Happy birthday to, I guess, me. I don't know, however you celebrate. But I am just amazed that it's already been a year. I feel like I literally just started, but at the same time I feel like I've been doing this for forever. So in order to celebrate my 1 year of Phone Eats First, I want this episode to be almost like a little dinner party, but instead we're going to be sharing my dopamine menu. And I'm sure some of you have heard of this on TikTok or other podcasts. I got the inspiration from Peyton Sarton in the podcast Note to Self, but I know she claimed, she's like, I didn't create this. I've seen other creators do this, but I really just loved her dopamine menu and the others that I've seen and just the idea of it in general. So if you don't know, dopamine is the happiness chemical, hormone, whatever you want to call it. And it is literally what makes us feel good when we do a certain thing, and then we get this release of pleasure and motivation to continue to do something because it makes you feel a certain way. There are negative versions of it, like sugar and scrolling on TikTok. So like, for example, she had her dopamine menu as things to replace doom scrolling, where you just sit on your phone and scroll for forever. But mine isn't really necessarily items to replace that. It's just items in general that I love to do and make me feel happy. And hopefully you can relate or get some inspiration and just also kind of know what makes you feel happy, which this does relate a lot to episode 44, all about romanticizing your weeknights in order to live a life that you love. So I talked about activities that I like to do in the evenings, and also just little things that I add to my more mundane tasks to make them all more enjoyable. So this is kind of a very similar concept. And I just thought it was a little cute way to tie it all in, because I knew I wanted to do an episode like this, but we're pretending it's a little dinner party for Phone Eats first birthday. But before we get into the weekly report in the episode, I want to just give a massive thank you to you that's listening right now, whether this is your first time listening, your 45th time listening, your 100th time listening, and everywhere in between. I would not be doing this without you guys, all of the support, the suggestions, sharing the episode with friends, family, coworkers, just all the supportive messages that I have received over the last year they just warm my heart. And no messages too crazy or small, like everyone has meant so much to me, and especially the people that I do know in life and I've kind of come out of the woodworks and been like, oh my god, I found out you have a podcast and it's weird I'm reaching out to you. Like, no, it's not weird. Like, it's meant so much to me to hear from so many different people. So thank you for being a listener. I hope you continue to be a listener, and please continue to share this podcast with people that you know and love and think may like this. It would mean the world, and I only want to continue to grow the podcast so that I could, start getting ads, start making money off of it. Because right now I do this all for free for myself. I actually pay to do this, believe it or not, but I do love it, and it makes me so happy. So thank you for being a listener. Now let's get into the weekly report. So our reading, as you all know, I have finished ACOTAR. I honestly might try and find a way to do an entire episode all about it because I am obsessed. But I am currently, before I start the next, fairy series, whether it's Throne of Glass or Fourth Wing or whatever, I am trying to read some fluff or thriller. Oh my god, can you hear the rain? I'm currently reading 3 books, technically listening to 1. I'm listening to the Matthew Perry audiobook, Friends, Lovers, and the Great Horrible Thing, or The Big Horrible Thing. And it's really crazy. I mean, I knew about his drug addiction and alcoholism and everything in between, but to hear him actually narrate the book and tell his story. And it's also obviously really sad now because if you didn't know, he's dead. R.I.P. Matthew Perry. But Friends is my favorite TV show I've literally ever watched. So his story means a lot to me, and it is really sad to hear how much he struggled, and also just to learn about the disease, addiction, and alcoholism, because I thought I knew what it meant and everything, but to really just hear the point of view of an addict tell what it means to them and how much they truly struggle is crazy. So I recommend that. And then the other books I'm reading are Everybody Always. It was recommended to me by Elizabeth, and I'm not very far into it, but it's about just how everyone should love everyone always. And it's a religious book, but I think it's very kind of subtly teaching a lesson. So I'll definitely report back on that one. But then the other book I'm reading, because I need something more engaging than the other two, is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. And this has been on my list for a while, and it was on Libby, which, if you don't know, Libby is a library app. And now that I have a Kindle, I can read books for free through the library on my Kindle. So I found that one, and I'm excited for it. I love a thriller. So I'm switching it up this week, what I'm excited about. And so this week I'm excited, or just not this week, in general, like maybe the next month, I am home for a decent bit. I mean, literally just a month, and then I'll be gone for forever again. But I'm excited about just like being home, eating real whole foods, and also working out a ton, which this is going to tie into literally so many other things on my report. But I've been going to Core Power Yoga, and I actually officially now have a unlimited membership. So I'll be going to Sculpt Yoga like literally every day and sweating my ass off for 45 to 60 minutes and just doing a lot of toning exercises. I'm excited to see how my body changes or adapts or reacts to this kind of workout, because I also love sweating when I'm working out, and I have not sweat this much. It's hot yoga, if you didn't know. I have not sweat this much in so long, and it feels really good. So I feel like it'll be really good for my body as a whole to just get rid of all the crap in me. All right, P plan. I am going back to Charleston this week. So by the time you're listening to this, I'll have been in Charleston. My best friend from middle school and high school is getting married. And it's really crazy because I haven't met her fiance, which, I feel like that's kind of normal these days when, it's a longtime friend that's getting married. But I'm really excited to go back to Charleston and see Nicole and be just in a wonderful city. But I just love a wedding. They're so happy and full of love. And then I'm going to get to see a lot of people from high school that I literally haven't seen in years. So if any of you listen to the podcast, hi, hello, excited to see you. But yeah, that is my plan. Now my obsession, which I just hinted at, is Core Power Yoga, which, like I said, I have only been doing for a week now, but I just signed up for the unlimited, which honestly, Core Power is very affordable, and it's not like getting unlimited classes is insane. I feel like a lot of workout classes, it's like, oh, you can get 5 classes for $2 million, or you can do the unlimited for $3 million. And I'm like, how about none? But Core Power is really affordable. So I was like, you know what, let me just keep this up, because like I said, I am going to be home for a bit. So I'm excited. I love it. I am addicted at this point. All right. Our recipe, I'm pretty sure I've shared this before, and it's not groundbreaking or anything, but my avocado toast that I've been having recently, I've been adding cottage cheese to it to just get a little extra protein and creaminess, and it's so good. And if you don't like cottage cheese, you could also do hummus, which doesn't have protein, but just a good little thing to spice it up. And then served with a fried egg and all the seasoning. And then tea treat. I have been having my chocolate Ninja Creamy a lot recently, and I've shared this as a treat. It's either this or date bark, like pick your poison here. But I have been having chocolate Ninja Creamies a lot, and they are hitting. They're so good. Like when I was in St. Louis this week, we went and got ice cream after dinner, and I was like, you know what? I'd rather just have a Ninja Creamy. I still got the ice cream because I love ice cream, and I love chocolate, and I love sweet treats, as most of you do know. But it was just kind of funny to me that I'm like, oh, I'd rather have the healthier version, which is great, but it's just so good. I do a chocolate Fairlife Core Power, whatever it's called, protein shake, and it has 26 grams of protein. Literally just dump that in the creamy container freeze it, and then I do peanut butter as a mix-in. And it's so good. But that is the weekly report. Now let's get into the episode. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we are celebrating Phonite's first birthday party with a little dopamine menu birthday party, like a little dinner party. I don't know, in my head it feels like a play on words, and it's really not, but I am here for it because my dream is to have a dinner party in a beautiful backyard that I have a backyard, but if you've seen it, you know it's just not dinner party friendly. It's dirt. One day we're manifesting. But so here is my dopamine menu and a little refresher. It's just a list of things that make me happy and feel good. And so it's broken into appetizers, entrees, sides, and dessert. And I know a lot of these aren't really that creative, or I don't want to say not creative, but you know what I mean? Like you would probably also think of these things. And I'm sure a lot of people have the same list, which I guess is kind of the point. Like we all kind of like a lot of the same things. But anyway, I'll just get into it. So for appetizers, these are things that take 5 to 10 minutes and or longer or less, but in theory, it's just a quick little thing that you can do. So my first one is making a list, which you're probably like, what the hell? But I love lists, whether it's a grocery list, working on my weekly to-do list of just kind of checking in. What do I have going on each day this week? When are my workout classes? What do I need to do in order to just stay on top of everything? Which again ties a lot into episode 44 about romanticizing weeknights, just like having a plan, knowing what's going on, checking things off. I love it. I also like to make packing lists because I'm almost always have a trip coming, so I need to be packed and I don't like to forget things. So I know I'm crazy. And then another thing that's an appetizer is just completing a task that you've been putting off for forever. It sounds kind of counterintuitive because you want to do something that makes you happy and there's a reason you've been putting this thing off because you're like, oh, that's not going to be fun. But when you do complete the task, I know you feel better, whether it's making an appointment or doing a chore, putting something away, like donating clothes to Goodwill, like really random things. I don't know, but whatever it is, just if it is a short little thing that you can do and you'll feel better after, it'll be worth it. And then also just cleaning up or doing a chore. So like tidying up an area of your room or your living room, vacuuming really quick, making your bed, doing a load of laundry, which I know laundry takes way more than 5 to 10 minutes if you really think about it. But as long as you don't have the male approach where I'm doing laundry is what is the one and only thing that you were doing for the next 3 hours. And I literally can't wrap my head around it, but that is how males operate and it blows my mind. But if you're, a normal human being and laundry's just like, oh, let's just dump this in, forget about it, 45 minutes later, washer to dryer, forget about it, 45 minutes later, take it out, fold it, put it away. Like that can be done in 10-minute increments. Then we've also got some drinks, or I guess you could add snacks in here too, but just making a fun little drink, whether it's coffee, tea, getting yourself a little kombucha in a wine glass, whatever kind of fun little drink that you want to have to just feel a little bit fancier. Always makes me happy. And then we've got socializing. So texting a friend, calling your mom, whatever it is. And again, this can take longer than 5 to 10 minutes, but in general whether it's just shooting someone a text that crosses your mind, like just reaching out to an old friend, just say, hey, thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. So let's schedule a phone call them immediately. I don't know, but I love to just reach out to my friends and say, hey, what's up? How are you? And then even if they don't respond or you don't respond for another day, it's okay. It'll make them feel better. And then when you also have, if you have an animal, which if you don't have an animal, I recommend getting an animal if you are a capable human being, but just give your dog a hug or have a little Zoomy session with your dog. Like Callie, well, she'll tell you when it's playtime. That is for sure. But when it's playtime, I'm like, okay, even if I don't want to play, I'm like, she does this maybe twice a day and her whole world revolves around me and I leave her alone all day. So like I need to just play with her. And it does make me really happy to just watch her like go absolutely crazy and play with whatever toy she's playing with, or if we go outside and play soccer. Or you could also just go on like a quick little walk around the neighborhood. And also that was actually something on my list, but taking a lap around the neighborhood, or if you're at work, just stepping outside for 5 to 10 minutes. I walk around my parking lot all the time. Sometimes for more than 10 minutes, sometimes for less, but it's so good to get sunshine in your eyes. And wow, that ties very nicely into my last little appetizer, is just getting sunshine in the eyes, whether it's the morning, midday, evening. You will feel so much better to just sit and let the sun hit you, and you feel hopefully warm. We're getting into colder seasons, which, not excited about that, but truly just getting sunlight in your eyes is going to make you feel so much better and really just set yourself up for, I don't know, just like it prepares you for the day. I don't know how to explain it, but there's definitely science behind it. Okay, now we have our entrees, which these are longer activities, things like maybe 45 minutes or longer. So one that's very obvious is just exercise, whether you're going on a hot girl walk, going to a workout class, doing something at home, going on a run, whatever type of exercise you do, just do it. You will feel so good because that also releases endorphins, all the things, and you will feel like a new human. Another entree that is on my dopamine menu is going to the grocery store, which for me, yes, the grocery store gives me dopamine. It makes me happy. I love it. And especially when you can go to the grocery store and not be rushed. I kind of had this realization this weekend. Yesterday I did a yoga class and then I went to Whole Foods and I was like, I actually have time to just browse, take my time. It wasn't slam packed. I don't know if Trader Joe's just kind of stresses me out, not in a bad way, but because there's always so many people, and I don't know. I just know my route. I know what I'm getting. So it's just a quick in and out. I don't know. But this past weekend, I was able to go and like genuinely just take my time and like actually look at some new things. And I was like, oh, this is enjoyable. But anyways, I love the grocery store, or kind of insert whatever store you really like. Maybe you can add that to your dopamine menu. Then I've got planning a fun trip. And this could kind of fit into a few different categories of this menu, but I'm just putting it under entree because it definitely takes a little bit more time than just an appetizer or a side. Like, it's something you need to be focused on and can definitely take 45 minutes or so. But I can't say that this happens often for sure, but I mean, even just like thinking about a trip, looking at flights, or if you do have a trip coming up, like kind of figuring out the timeline of what days you're doing what do you need to pack, just kind of overall the logistics of the trip. Or you can look up restaurants, like where do you want to eat, make a reservation. Are there concerts when you're there? Whatever it is. But just anything associated to a trip, I love. Then we've got a hobby. So whatever hobby is yours. Mine is podcasting, making sourdough. Really, podcasting is the best example I can give. Or just like my Corey in the Kitchen social media platform in general. But whatever you have that you want to put more time and energy towards and it makes you happy, that can be a great entree. Like if you wanted to plan out some posts or make some videos or edit some videos or whatever it is, or for me, like edit a podcast, plan out a podcast, work on the Instagram and the videos and TikTok and everything. It's all really fun for me. Sometimes it's not all. This one is definitely can sometimes seem more like a chore than just something I love. But when it is something I'm excited for, like, I don't know, today I felt really inspired with this episode, so it was easy. I was like, oh, I'm excited. This will be good. Otherwise, it's not always that way, but, just insert hobby can be a great entree. And if you don't have a hobby, maybe find one. It's a good time to start. Then we've got cooking dinner or any type of meal. So whenever you're able to leisurely cook a meal, you have time, you have the ingredients, you are excited for whatever it is you're going to make, and you're not just like throwing together leftovers or whatever it is. I find that this is extremely enjoyable. It's fun. I feel happy. I love the process of cooking, honestly, sometimes more than eating. And if a dinner is going to take me an hour, I love it. I'm all in. I don't really care. I prefer that over just like a quick 10-minute thing that you throw in the oven. Of course, every meal has its time and place, but I love when I can just throw something together, but also really like enjoy the process, the chopping, the sauteing, peeling, whatever it is. I love it. And then we've got an everything shower, which I took one today and I loved it. And even while I was in the shower, I was cleaning the shower. Like I don't know why, but I was in the shower for probably 20 minutes today. I was literally scrubbing bleach on the walls because that shower is nasty. Anywho, an everything shower, if you don't know, is when you do it all. You shave, you exfoliate, you do a hair mask, you just soak it all in and just enjoy it. And that, I mean, I hope it doesn't take you 45 minutes, but even just the process of the post shower, like you're putting the oil in your hair, you're maybe dermaplaning your face, or you're whitening your teeth, you're getting in cozy clothes, you're lounging, you're putting on your good lotion, you're just relaxed, clean, like literally could not be more clean. So love that one. And I'll also go back and add just like a quick shower to an appetizer, because sometimes it just adds a nice break in your evening or day or whatever it is, if you don't have to do, the whole 9 yards. Okay, now we are on to sides. And these are things that you can do while you're doing another category, like an entree, an appetizer. You just kind of stack these together. So the very obvious one is just listening to music or a podcast while you're doing anything, chores, going on a walk, whatever it is, cleaning. I almost always have music on my TV. I'll put Spotify on and just loop a playlist or whatever. Sometimes I'll have a podcast on, more so when I go on a walk and then come back and I'm just still listening to it. But I love just having extra music or podcast or just like other things going on. One, it just makes me feel smart because I'm like also learning while I'm doing something and like just like, accomplishing a lot of goals at once. And then also just like music just makes me happy and sets a good mood or like hypes me up, gives me more energy. Whatever it needs to do, it can do. You can also wear a cute outfit with whatever it is you're doing, whether it's working out or you're just lounging around the house, but you have like a certain outfit that is really comfortable, but you also like feel good in. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really know what that would be, but like right now I love this sweatshirt that I have. It's Daily Drills. And it makes me happy whenever I get to wear it. So little situations like that, or if you have to like go run errands, put on a cute outfit, dress up. I don't know. Then we've got, this ties into the music, but the YouTube fireplace is a great addition to literally any mood. If you're having people over or you're just by yourself and you don't have the TV on, and you can also play music on a speaker, but the fireplace, especially as we're getting into like fall and winter, it's so cozy, and you can do one that has like little crackles and whatnot. I love it. Really just sets the mood. And then another side is just having a fun drink while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. And I know I had this as an appetizer, but the actual act of having a drink while you're cooking dinner, while you're cleaning your room, doing laundry, even just like working or whatever it is, completing some just like random things that you need to do. Have a little kombucha in a wine glass, make yourself a little coffee, or go get coffee or have tea, whatever it is, whatever drink you like, but just having a fun drink can spruce up your day. All right, last but not least, we've got desserts. And so these are the indulgences. They could be big, they could be small. Some people on their dopamine menu also have specials, which would be like a really big trip or something, but I'm just going to tie them all into dessert and like indulgence category. So for me, a dessert is making sourdough, because it's not something that I can do every day. Obviously, you literally have to be home for 2 days in a row, one day to prep the dough and fold it and all that jazz, and then the next day to cook it, bake it. So when I am home, and it also takes a few days to feed and just get the starter active again. So when I am home, that is an indulgence for me. And then I also have literally any specially planned activity. So if it's a concert, a live podcast show, a comedy show, date night, going to a movie, like literally just anything that you have planned, it feels like a dessert indulgence. I love it. And then we've got shopping, which, can't do all the time, but it is true that spending money and swiping your credit card is going to give you a release of, I think it's dopamine, could be another one of those things, but I mean, you feel good when you're spending money. And then lastly, we've got trying a new outdoor activity. So those of you that saw, I went surfing when I was in San Diego, and it was so much fun. I wish I could do that all the time. I did successfully stand up multiple times. So did Price. We killed it. But something like that, surfing, skiing, a ski trip, which again, any type of trip with friends, the act of it is a dessert, but maybe the planning of it can be a little bit of an appetizer, a little bit of an entree. Just like always having something to look forward to and talk about and plan for is great, which like reminds me and my friends need to plan our next thing, because it's been a while and not having one on the calendar makes me sad. So yeah, that's all I've got for you. I would love to hear what other ideas you guys have for your dopamine menus. Maybe you can make one yourself, use this one, I don't know, or just go with the flow and be like, oh yeah, this is what makes me happy. I'm going to continue to do this. So yeah, thank you again for being a friend of Phone Eats First, a listener, a supporter. I love you all. Please follow me on Phone Eats First Pod on Instagram and support me on Corey in the Kitchen. That one's fun. We love that one. That's the OG account. And then we've also got Corey_in the Kitchen on TikTok, which is where I'm also posting the little live video clips from this podcast. So any support you can give, I would love. Let me know if you're a listener of the podcast. Let me know what other episodes you want to hear, what episodes you don't want to hear. Just kidding. Don't tell me that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great week and a great day. And thank you for being a listener. Please leave a rating and review. You can leave comments on Spotify now. Just, engage. It means the world. And yeah, with that wraps up the Phone Eats first birthday party. See you at the next one. You are listening to Phone Eats First.